You always hear this term, big brother, right? It comes from that 80s book where like the government's looking over your shoulder, right? Big brother. Everybody's always so afraid of big brother, in modern times when the government's like, oh, we don't want to be like big brother. I started thinking about it. What's it like to actually have a big brother? Any of y'all out there ever had a big brother? I believe that's a lot of titty twisters and getting farted on the head, that kind of stuff. Like, is that really who we want in power as big brother? Boy, I always hear that like parenting is like the toughest job ever. So I started thinking, what if parenting actually was like a real job? What if like my kids were like, Dan, can we see you in the office, please? I'll sit down. They're like, listen, the allowance has been a little short in the last few months. We haven't seen much improvement. I think we're going to have to let you go. I'm like, I'm your dad. Could you imagine if we still rode around on horses instead of having cars? Like in the modern today society? Do you imagine going to the car wash on your horse? Going to the drive-in theater on your horse? That's funny right there. Fill up my saddlebags, go watch me some drive-in movie on my horse. Dude, I just found out that all the LSD I've ever had in my life is still in my hair. To this day. That is crazy. So this weekend, I ain't got much money. I'm going to call up my buddies after I get a haircut and be like, let's get high. So there's just some games I just do not consider sports, right? And poker is definitely one of them. I seen recently they got like the World Series of Poker. And I just think that is so hilarious. I'm like, what is next on this crazy train? World Series of Tiddlywinks? Man, could you imagine getting a dime bag of weed like with your meal at a restaurant? Man, that would give new meaning to Happy Meal. Quarter pounder? Boy, have you seen all these Viagra commercials these days? Man, it's through the roof. What the hell happened to the good old days when people just get drunk to screw? Man, I've heard there's these therapy groups that people go to try to have less sex. I guess they have like sex addictions or something. I was like, man, I got like the opposite problem, right? I would set up an exact opposite group to that to like try to help people to get more sex. Should I be the president of that club? Oh my gosh. So I'm kind of like a traveled sort of dude, like an international guy. Like I noticed that one thing every country I've ever been to, they always want to push off onto me, like the aphrodisiac that's going to like put hair on my chest or whatever, right? Or it's always going to make me like last all night long. There's always that kind of stuff, right? So I've decided instead of going to every country and hearing that crap every time I go, and everyone thinking that they're, oysters or the, horse piss or whatever the hell, man, cactus juice, pulque, whatever the hell it is, I don't know. But that whatever it is, what I want them to do is bring it all down to what I call the Sex Olympics. It's going to be like the Olympics of sex. But for finally, once and for all, we can hash it out. Who's got the best aphrodisiac? We could also have events, like to see who lasts the longest. Oh my God, getting old sucks, man. That memory going. I've always done this my whole life, like especially when I got slow internet connection and stuff. I think about something that I want to research, that I want to look up. Go bust out the computer, open it up, all flamed up. Doo-doo-doo. Go over there, bring it up. What the hell was I gonna look up? Yeah, I'm a total disciplinarian. I start my kids off early. Before they was even born, I was telling them, clean your womb. So one thing I've always thought, and I've always said, I always thought there was nothing sexier than someone that could pay the bills. Ladies, you feeling me? I think that new forms of pornography should just be people like sitting at their desks, just paying those bills. Once they're done with those bills, they put a little left over into savings. Oh, God. I've always been so afraid to ask the bartender for a dirty martini. My God, could you imagine what's actually in that? Been doing a lot of research now that I'm homeschooling the kids. Come to find out that endorphins are produced in the brain when you do things like when you eat and when you have sex. So lately, to double up, I've been eating. Hey, I always thought it was interesting how people in the United States, a lot of don't like dark skin, black skin. But you know what's weird? They do tolerate Mexicans with their dark skin and people from India with their dark skin. I started thinking why. It's because they work for so cheap, maybe. I guess. You know who I've always felt bad for? Silent letters. All those letters and words that like you don't pronounce. I don't know why they're there. Just to annoy you, to make you have to read more when you don't even pronounce them. So you know what I decided? Lasagna, your job is to be read. I don't know. This might sound kind of mean. I'm not trying to be mean. I just always thought it was kind of funny. Whenever I heard people say "worsh" and "Worshington," I always think, "Oh, those poor retarded people. They don't know how to read." I thought this was pretty funny. Wrote this down a while ago. I must be getting old. I remember when I could put sugar in a gas tank to keep it from running. Nowadays, they're putting sugar-based fuels into gas tanks to keep them running. So this one was funny back when Barack was being voted in. It was in regards to his popularity being so off the charts that even the KKK voted for him. Had that in one of my stand-up routines that I did at Tommy T's, but just realized on the original card for this, there's a little bit in the back, a little bit additional to that. It says, "We live in unprecedented times. This might actually be the year that the KKK does not kill a black man." This just in, we take you to breaking news story. Economic times are so tough, I myself have just been fired. More at 11.